Hi, everybody. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Facebook. Guys on Facebook, guys on YouTube, welcome to my live. This live is going to be really quick. So let's talk about trade schools. You can see that on the thumbnail. Let's talk about trade schools and why trade schools. I hope everybody's doing okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. It could be afternoon from your time, from your location. If you're joining, say hello in the comment section and we have it going from there. Yeah, just type hello from the comment section and let me know where you're joining from. This is going to be a very quick live, by the way. I promise you guys. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining from. Let's get this live done very quickly. Okay, let's talk about good morning. Omokeji. Yes. I don't know if I'm calling it right. Apologies if I'm not calling it right, but Omo, let me go Omo. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Where are you joining from, Omo? Where are you joining from? So if you're joining from YouTube as well, okay, let me know in the comment section. I love to see my YouTube families. I love to see my YouTube families here and Facebook. Um, good morning. Okay, let me know. I'm always laughing. I hope I did well anyway with that name. Okay, so if you are joining from YouTube and even Facebook, please do one thing for me. Kindly give the video a like. Okay, that's one thing I'd always want you to do for me. Joining from Facebook, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that you have Facebook badge. Yeah, okay. So put up give the video a like and yeah, share the video. Okay, so somebody on your timeline, somebody in your network, your friends, family, they benefit from the video. Okay, so always please share the video. Okay, these are very vital information. As much as possible, we don't want to keep this information to ourselves. We rise by lifting others, so we need to share. Okay, so that people who actually need the information or who it may be beneficial to can get to see them. Okay, so and if you're joining from YouTube, please put on your post notification bells. Okay, so each time I come on live, or I am ready, I'm about going on live, YouTube gets you notified and you're able to join, or even each time I upload videos, you're able to see them. Okay, because trust me, these videos would always come with very vital information, and some of them you may need to work on the information in the video as soon as possible. Remember, the earlier you're able to utilize opportunities, the better chances you stand, okay, in that opportunity. So it's always good to have your notification up, okay, so that each time I upload videos, you're able to see them first and you're able to act ASAP. Okay, so yeah, and if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, especially if you're planning on relocation. This is your one-stop channel. Okay, in this channel I promise to help you with all the vital information. I'll do all the underground research, bring all those key informations to you. Okay, and that way your relocation is as seamless as possible. Mhm. All right, so let's talk about trade schools. Okay, let's talk about trade schools in Canada. Right, I want to be talking about it because in the last few months, or last month, first time here. Oh, hi, almost so good to have you here. Really good to have you. I hope this is not going to be your last time. Hopefully not. Okay, so get stuck with me. Get stuck with me, especially if you plan traveling. I promise you here, I will dish out value back to back to you. That is what I promise, because I'm not here to waste my time, and I'm sure you're not here to waste your time either. That we're here to exchange value, right? So trade school. So in the last month, okay, a lot of people, there's been a lot of confusion since after the government of Canada has said no more dependent visa. They've made so many anti-immigration laws, and people are like, people, even people who are already in their processes, in the Canadian processes, are, a lot of them are filled with regret. Why did we go for this? You know, why did we go for this? Did we make the best move? What can we do better? They're wondering if, it was worth it in the first place. And then people are also having that cold mind, that lukewarmness, towards Canada and all of that. I do have the same as well. But personally, I don't like to dwell in problems, because I know that even when a particular door is closed, there are always so many doors open. It's just for we to be able to, you know, accept that this door is closed. It's closed. Okay. Where are the other ones that are open, right? And you start looking for them and move on. That is life, right? You don't have to continue sitting on one spot and keep, crying over it and, back and front. It's not going to resolve the problem. It's not going to open the door, the fact that you're on it. All right. So what are trade schools? Why am I talking about trade schools today? So trade school is one option that I see that a lot of people have not necessarily explored. Okay. And they're not like the regular universities and colleges that we know that a lot of people are jumping into. A lot of people going abroad, obviously. I'm using Canada as an example because trade schools in Canada, they are given some kind of special treatment. Now, I talk about a lot of trade schools, vocational schools in a country like Finland. Finland is another country where a lot of vocational programs, they have loads of them, and they actually are treated so well. So if you're looking on relocating to Finland, obviously, if you're in my channel, you should know that I talk a lot about vocational schools, and I bring a lot of the opportunities here, right? So, but today I'm talking about Canada, and that path to Canada, trade schools in Canada is something that people are not really looking into, and I don't know why, because I have critically done my research and I see it does have lots and lots and lots of advantages, okay, to go via a trade school. So trade school, for example, let me use Nigeria as an example, because I am a Nigerian, right? So they are like the technical colleges, okay. Basically what you would learn there are like skills, okay, say like carpentry, like mechanics, like electricians, if you want to be an electrician, so electricals, forklifting, stuff like that, okay. Culinary skills, even people into food and nutrition, all those kind of stuff. There are lots of programs like that in trade schools, okay. So if you're talking about in Canada, for example, truck driving, forklifting, heavy machinery, repairs and all of that, mechanics, those kind of stuff, right? So those are the kind of programs that you find in tech schools, in trade schools, okay. And this kind of programs are very, very skillful. Now, I try to compare the conventional universities and colleges. Now, conventional universities are good, but sometimes some things have some advantages. Okay, when I compare them, you see that in Canada, for example, it's one country that do not play with experience, with Canadian experience. So there are so many countries where you come with your masters, your degrees from your country, and they may count towards getting a job. But the truth is, 80% of people who have relocated to Canada via the study route, who've gone to conventional universities, they do not end up working in their preferred choice, in their field of study, right? Not their preferred choice now, whatever their field of study. Okay, say for example, you came in to study business administration. After that study, most times whatever you have done in your home country, it's not recognized in the Canadian society, right? Your experience, your work experience in your country, most times is not recognized. Canada is one country that dignifies Canadian experience. They want you to have an experience in their country. So sometimes that's why you see a lot of people, they come into Canada after their MSc programs, they struggle to get a job. You see somebody studying something completely different and they're working in a completely different field at the end of the day, because they're not able to find a job and they don't have a choice because they want to stay back in the country. They don't have a choice than to take whatever comes to them, okay? So that's why somebody would study business administration, for example, and they end up working as maybe a social carer or something, or even working in a supermarket as a salesperson. Maybe they are working in Walmart, working in Tesco, working, in stores, right? Most of the time, that's not what they want, but at the end of the day, they are not getting job in their preferred fields, even though they have the degree from the country, okay, from Canada. This is particularly to particularly in Canada, right? Because this is one country where country experience, Canadian experience is so dignified. Okay. So even though you have done your master's in Canada, you have done your BSc in Canada, before the employers, you're still considered as somebody who do not have Canadian experience. And most of the times when you are working, when you are schooling, I know you can work while you're schooling, but you find out that most of the times you're probably doing something that's not related to your field. So I know as a student, you do have 20 hours. That's what somebody may want to argue. You may want to say, okay, but students are able to work. Yes, you're able to work, but 99% of the times, not in your field of study, right? So if you're studying something, you're probably is working in a care home or something. Yes, you're doing that work, you're getting money, but it's nothing compared to your area of specialty, to the place where you actually are and desire to be, right? So trade school is actually one school that actually gives you the opportunity to study and at the same time come out with experience in your field of study. So for me, you're not only coming out with something, you're not only coming out with the certification, right? You're coming out as well with your Canadian experience. And what does that offer you? It's an automatic job. Do you agree with me? It's an automatic job, right? So, say for example, you're doing carpentry, you're doing truck training in Canada, okay? While you're doing it, the way the program is designed, you're doing it and working at the same time. And it is kind of, see it as apprenticeship, yeah? Even though it's done, of course, in developed countries, these things are done on that organized school. These are called trade school because there are certain kind of programs that actually require hands-on. Okay, so you're doing it. While you're doing it, you're doing a kind of apprenticeship. Now, there's actually called apprenticeship and apprenticeship in Canada. Apprenticeship, most that's what it is, but most people who go for apprenticeship are people who are already in Canada, for example, being sponsored by a company. I would differentiate that subsequently, but just know that it is something like apprenticeship. Okay, so while you're studying in school, you are at the same time getting work experience. So you're working, and while you're working, you're basically working in your field of study while you're also earning as you study. So at the end of your study, you have experience. You have Canadian experience, not just experience, but you have Canadian experience. So I know that for sure, most people who go via trade school, it's a ticket to them getting a job because they have almost everything they need for the Canadian job market. So they have their Canadian experience in that field as well as they have the Canadian certification in that field. So I don't know why people are not looking all towards this direction, right? One big argument out here that could be coming in your mind now if you're watching this video and you're very conversant with the Canadian system. You may be asking of PGWD, right? What about postgraduate work permit? Am I going to be getting, that a lot of schools have been striped off from offering a postgraduate work permit, right? After your Canadian MSc and all of that. People are running helter skelter. Oh, which school do I apply to? Which school do I not apply to? Now, the good news is, I tell you, for trade schools, it's more like an automatic ticket to your permanent residency. Yes, because you know what? The Canadian government is very, very smart, right? They don't joke with people like this. People who can do something and solve a particular, they know that these people are solving a peculiar problem in the society. They want people who can solve peculiar problems. So if you're a carpenter, if you're a truck driver, if you are a forklifter, these kind of people are not joked with. Electricians, these kind of people are not joked with in Canada. They are given some kind of, because these are the people who are solving a defined problem in their society. And they know that these people put in a lot of manpower, put in a lot of, so they don't joke with them, right? So take, for example, in the express entry pool, people from trade schools, do you know they're automatically given a CRS point of 300, and it's reduced to their CRS requirement is reduced down to 300, which is a very, very low requirement. And coming from trade school, graduating from a Canadian trade school gives you that point, which is an automatic into the express entry pool. There's no how they're going to do in the express entry that you're not going to get selected. So it's an automatic and even shortcut to your permanent residency, which is a lot of times one of the key things an immigrant is looking for in the country. Okay, so if you're thinking of, so you don't even have to struggle with um, um, PGWD, jobs, and all of that. By getting a job, and which you are not necessarily certain that you're going to be getting that job after you have done your MSc, graduating from a conventional university, because most of the times you don't necessarily have Canadian experience, which most Canadian employers would be so particular about. So what have I explained here? Going via a trade school would give you the Canadian experience that you're looking for, because while you're schooling, you do work, and you specifically work in your field of study. Okay, and I know that I've been calling jobs like forklifting, like truck driving, heavy machinery mechanics and all of that. And I'm sure my females, they'll be wondering, okay, this I think is for the males. No, it's not for the males. It's not just for the males. Okay, women are into trades. There are lots of courses. If you're interested in this, I can do another video where I can tell you jobs that are in the trades. I can tell you specific schools that offer trades in Canada. If I have few people who are looking for this, trust me, I'm going to be doing the next video on it so that I can tell you particular schools in Canada that you can apply to for these programs, and the cost of the program, give you detailed information on how you can go about it. But first of all, I just wanted to prepare your minds about this program. I think that this is a pathway that people should be looking at. People don't necessarily know about it. All we know is university. Everybody doesn't have to go to conventional universities, okay? Conventional universities, colleges, they are brilliant, they're wonderful, but everybody doesn't have to go there, right? And trust me, in developed countries, people are rewarded. Everybody is important, right? Everybody is important. So people are all rewarded in different disciplines. So if this is something that that you love, but especially coming from Africa, we are so stereotyped about going to conventional universities, and that's the only way to succeed. We have this I don't know where we got that from, but that's the belief. That's not true. Okay, you don't have to go to a conventional university to succeed. There are other things you can do. You can look out of the box. This is one point that people have actually neglected: going to trade schools in Canada. A lot of people are applying for masters, BScs, all in conventional universities. But sometimes, you can spread your mind. So rather than focusing on all the bans, all the bad news coming from the Canadian government with regards to the conventional universities, stopping you migrating your dependents, and not giving PGWD to most colleges and recent universities, list of universities. Look for other doors, okay? And this is definitely one door. Okay, go into trade, and I tell you, most trade people is actually the people who make the most money in Canada. So as a new haul truck driver in Canada, you can earn up to $200,000 per annum. Absolutely. Although depending on where you work, obviously, but I'm trying to tell you that in that profession, you can earn up to that. It's very possible. It is not very possible with a lot of professions. It is not. As a truck drivers, they will bear me that witness. As a smart truck driver, especially one who have gotten all the Canadian certification, all the Canadian experience, yes, you can earn up to that in Canada. So why are people not looking out on this direction? Why are people? Of course, the answer is very clear. People don't know. You cannot pursue what you don't know, right? You can't pursue what you don't know. So yes, this is one brilliant path that people have to start looking at, right? We do not know, a lot of us do not know this before, but now we know. So if you are thinking of going to Canada, you want to be looking at the straight schools. They are very, very worth paying attention to, because sometimes, honestly, they offer you even better. And ultimately, a lot of people migrating to be able to settle in the country. Trust me, with the trade school, you have better chances and easier chances of eventually getting your permanent residency. Why? Because you have that experience coming out from school. You are so certified. Let me tell you the difference. Let me tell you the big difference between trade schools and regular universities in Canada. talking about Canada in this video. With the conventional universities, it's more like after you're done, you go out with your portfolio and start chasing for jobs. With the trade schools, it's more like while in the programs, you have the job, and after the program, you're being offered jobs. Yes, that's what it is like, right? So go there, know your stuff, know what you're doing. Before you're graduating, of course, you know your stuff. You must have done a lot of hand stuff. Okay? Trust me, when you're trained in the Canadian system, you're not graduating at somebody who does not know. If you're a carpenter and, in compared to a conventional university where, of course, if they have a course like carpentry, you may not necessarily get to know how to stock a nail. Just like we have a lot of engineers who probably cannot fix a bulb, or electrical engineers, for example, who probably cannot fix a bulb. This is not the case, right? So you're coming out from school, you know what you're doing, and you have jobs there. Trust me, people from trade schools have jobs at their beck and call compared to people who go to convention. On the other part, for conventional universities, you literally have to struggle for jobs. A lot of us who go, a lot of us went to conventional universities, right? But we know, especially in the developed world, that people who have gone, the trade route, that they are very, very, very much appreciated in the society, pay wise. They have lots of privileges. Yes, that's the truth. So this is one path where you want to be that you want to be looking at. Okay. And for my female counterparts, don't think like, oh, she's sounding heavy, or forklifting, or truck driving, and kind of woman. Yes, there are parts. The thing is, it's very good. There's division of labor, right? Even in the trade schools, there is a place for women. If you are a woman, definitely there's a place for you, right? Most women I know in Canada who are into the trade sport or the trading, who go to trade schools, okay, their kind of jobs will be with procurement, okay, maybe procurement of parts and all those kind of stuff, which is still more like an office job, okay. But before you can do those procurements, maybe you're procuring parts or stuff like that for a particular kind of machineries, okay. You may not necessarily be in the field doing the repair. Some women are, and you may not necessarily be in the field doing repair and active repair and all of that, those kind of jobs that require manpower, but you could be in the office doing procurement of parts and all of those kind of stuff that are related or connected with a particular machinery. Maybe it could be a forklift, it could be a truck, it could be whatever it is, heavy, different kind of machineries that different industry uses, right? So if you're doing that procurement, you actually need to go through that. You need to understand the mechanics of how the machine functions, okay, before you can be able to procure. It's not so developed countries don't do try and error. Anybody cannot just come in. So you need to go through that system. So there are positions like the one I'm trying to say is, don't be carried away by, oh, it looks more like a masculine thing. No, it's not more like a masculine thing. There are places for women. And overall, what I'm saying is, rather than dwell in the negative news, okay, when one door closes, there is always a lot of doors open. Why people worry themselves so much about a door that is closed is because you do not know that there are so many still open out there. You need to explore them. Why people are, and who even knows? Maybe it's for people who now start thinking out of the box. Because people are so, everybody is just a routine. Okay, I want to go to Canada. The next thing you're thinking of, study route, and the next thing you don't even know what you're going to do. You don't even know. You just want a course that will give you PGWD. That's all you know. I just want to relocate to Canada, and I don't want to come back to my home country. So with what course is giving me, probably that is all you know, and that is all informs you. That is all that informs your decision. But sometimes we don't even think, are there even better options that gives us more privileges, even to the PR part at the end of the day? Are there other parts that actually helps us integrate more into the system? Just like what I have told you, no matter what you do in a conventional university, 95% of the time, you do not get a Canadian work experience while you are doing that study. No, you don't. You don't. You have your 20 hours to work, yes, legally by the government of Canada as a student. But most of the time, you're just working to survive and earn money, not necessarily working in your field of study. Except, of course, for people who go for graduate assistantship, and how many people get that? Who actually working probably in an academic field and all of that. Yes, they're getting relevant and good experience, but most of the times, 95% of the time, most people who spend millions of naira to relocate, you're doing it, and at the same time you're not getting relevant experience. And then after you have spent how many millions to get a study visa, you then struggle to get a job. Of course, that's not what you want. You have to be very smart about the whole thing. You have to be very, very practical. You have to be very intentional, and you have to follow every path by all means that is going to deliver your end result. Of course, you have an end result. So you have to draft a path that would deliver that end result that you're looking for at the end of the day. So everything about relocating abroad, you need to be very smart about it. You need to have credible information. Okay, nobody ever travels abroad. That's why some people travel abroad, and they don't necessarily get the quality of life some other people get, because of the privileges the other person has. So these things, you need to sit down and tactically create a path that delivers that end result to you. I'm sorry, again. Oh yeah, that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. All right, so guys, from YouTube, from Facebook, if you're watching this video, I know a lot of people are going to be watching this video after now. Okay, bring on all of your questions. Okay, if you're interested to know so much more about trade schools, about specific schools in Canada that would offer you admission. Some people would even say in the comment section, but I don't know, people who have tried to say they don't offer international students. No, they do. A lot of school does, and I tell you, it's even more cheaper. It's even cheaper than most of the conventional universities. Yeah. You just have to know where, which school, and how do I apply, which programs are they applying for. You just have to know this, and I'm telling you this today. It's actually an easier path towards the express entry. Yes, they have a very low demand of CRS points, up to 300, down to 300. So with your 300 points, you're good to go with the express entry. As opposed to the conventional universities, you may be looking for about 480 points, for over 400, 480 points, which is a higher point to achieve. So you still have all those struggles to make. So why not go for something that gives you a low requirement, something that gives you job experience while you do the study, something that kind of even gives you that assurance that at the end of the day I'm getting a job. Because you're doing your master's in Canada, you're doing your PhD in Canada, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get a job. I hope you know that. It's not a guarantee. Trust me, talk to a lot of people who have traveled. Some of them have struggled to look for a job in their field of study. They haven't got one. A lot of them are not working in anything related to their job. That is the reality. That is the reality. Okay, so you want to be really smart about all of these things. So let me know in the comment section. I'm very, very happy. Bring on all of your questions. I definitely would do well to come back to this video to answer any of the questions, because I want you to get it right? And if you're interested in knowing the list of schools, I'm happy to do a very detailed video with the list of schools in Canada offering trade courses, what trade courses they're offering, the costs, and all of that. I'm very, very happy to make that video. Let me know in the comment section, and probably tomorrow I will make that video. Okay. So yeah, that's everything. Like I promised you, it's going to be a very short video. Thank you so much, Sophia, for joining. Thank you, Wasilat. Thank you everybody who joined the video, and I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you found the video helpful. I hope you found the information in the video helpful, and like I said, bring on all of your questions in the comment section. I will come back and I'll answer all of those questions. And yeah, let me know if you want to know about the trade schools, okay, in Canada, especially if you're looking towards making an application. It's a time you really want to reflect and do more researches on trade schools, look at the advantages and see how it is going to be beneficial to you, and if it's something that you want to go in with. And if you're interested in having further information about the breakdown information, detailed information, let me know as well in the comment section. If I have a couple of persons looking for that information, I'll be more than happy to make that video. All right. Have a beautiful day for the rest of the day, and bye.